Yeah, it's time for Business Line. Emmanuel Bajiafi has joined me in the studio, and it's all about the banking sector reforms and what has been taking place in the last few months.
Yes, a lot has taken place,
Yeah.
and it looks like the president has added his voice again. He's saying that it's a necessary prerequisite for the Continental Free Trade Agreement,
All right.
strong banking sector.
You bring us the details. Then.
Thank you very much. Thanks for joining me on Business. President Akufo-Addo has justified the recent banking sector reforms, saying it will ensure the private sector get the necessary financial support to take advantage of the trade and the Africa Free Continental Trade Agreement. The president said this when addressing stakeholders at the opening of the conference on the implementation of the CFTA in Accra.
Signing and ratifying the deal, the African Union Commission anticipates there will be challenges among businesses that need to be dealt with before the full potential of the single market is achieved. Deputy Commissioner of the African Union Commission has been explaining some of the barriers that he needs for member states to deal with.
We are slowly trying to disentangle all the obstacles. For instance, try taking an articulator full of goods to Togo. At the border, hey, arrête, and level shows. I used to say,
government is established by law Act 990 of 2019. The State Interest in Governance Authority, SIGA, which is going to replace the discredited State Enterprises Commission and the Divestiture Implementation Committee. I'm hopeful that SIGA will strengthen our SOEs, JVCs, and OSCs, promote sound governance and institutional performance, and have them play significant roles in the development of our economy, with the additional aim of being able to tap into the enormous potential the AFCFTA will present. Right after this program, I'll be heading to the Kempinski Hotel to launch this all-important authority, whose board, after it is sworn in, will be chaired by a senior, successful, respected figure of the private sector, Mr. Terry Darko, past president of the Ghana Employment Association, and whose director general will be the energetic Stephen Asamoah Barty. I'm anticipating that both of these personalities and others will help infuse good private sector practices into the management of these public enterprises under their new dispensation. It will also be essential that the regulatory agencies rise to the occasion and be up and doing in the discharge of their duties in order to promote discipline in the activities of the private sector. Institutions such as the Bank of Ghana, the Registrar of Companies, the Securities and Exchange Commission, the National Insurance Commission, and the National Pensions Regulatory Authority must see to the effective regulation and supervision of the entities within their remit. We have seen what the previous failure of regulation led to in the banking sector. The Presidential Fiscal Responsibility Advisory Council, headed by an eminent economist and composed of other well-known economists, has been set up to advise the President on how to maintain fiscal discipline and develop and recommend policies for the maintenance of prudent levels of public debt, ensuring that the fiscal balance is maintained at a sustainable level at all times.
Meanwhile, customers of some of the 23 collapsed savings and loans and finance houses on Monday thronged some branches in Accra to fill out forms by the receiver for payback of their funds. The process of validation of depositors' claims for the 500 branches affected by the closure began on Monday. Charles IT reports some customers expressed worry and frustration over the development.
It was a challenging moment for clients of some of these defunct savings and loans and finance houses. Here at the main branch of the defunct GN Savings and Loans Company, workers were nowhere to be found and customers, as usual, disturbed.
You could see the padlocks in that regard. We're also yet to speak to some of the clients who tell us that not just this particular branch has been closed down for unknown reasons, but other branches as well.
Last time it was for 22,000, and last year they pay 9,000 installments. Even some of the checks are bouncing, so now almost 13,000.
with them. Friday, I heard that the Ghana Commercial Bank took their lances, so I'm here to check if I can get my money. Yes.
So what has been the response?
Yeah, they said the Bank of Ghana is supposed to give them some form for the customer to be filled, but the forms is not yet in. So we are waiting for the Bank of Ghana to bring the forms.
You say you're here for your money. How much do you have saved?
I have 12,000 Ghana cedis. For me now, as I'm talking to you, my work is down now because I'm a young guy coming. I'm starting with mobile money, but the money that I supposed to be used, I deposit here almost 1 year now, so the work is stopped.
The case was no different at the First Ghana Savings and Loans Company. It was an atmosphere of confusion and frustration. You can see behind me some sense of confusion. Customers currently here, they doesn't know the reason why the banking hall of the Savings and Loans Company has been shut down. What we do know for a matter of fact is that the receiver should be in there and receiving several forms from customers as they process payments. But this is the case here at the Savings and Loans Company. Here, management of the defunct company were absent as receivers from the PricewaterhouseCoopers PwC took over operations. With a shut banking hall, these distraught customers were handed some forms to fill in their details as part of procedures for payment. But they had no idea what they had in their hands. Do you understand what this is?
I don't really understand it. I can only read, but I don't just understand what they are saying. Unless, when this form was given out, I asked them, who is going to fill them? Am I to fill them and bring it back to them? Or what? They said if I should fill where I can fill and then leave the rest to them. I also asked them, am I the one to go and look for the Commissioner of Oath? All they told me was that I should wait, fill what I can do, and then give it back.
Some confusion out there at various branches of defunct savings and loans companies. Meanwhile, the Association of Savings and Loans Companies has maintained the cleanup of the sector was badly needed. According to its Executive Secretary, Chinebua Kodria-Boakye, any further delays could have collapsed the entire industry.
It was long overdue, and we were expecting it had happened earlier, but it happened eventually. And so what we can do is to look at what are the lessons we can learn from those, what new thing can we do, and also how should our engagement with the regulators supposed to be. Going forward, we expect more compliance in the industry. We expect that our relationship with our customers will be better, and then managers of the various institutions left, at least out of 39, and now you have 24, and we have additional savings and loans, and so we have 25 savings and loans in good standing now. We expect that the management of these institutions and the board will continue to look for better ways of managing their risk, managing their relationship with their clients, and also continue to comply with Bank of Ghana's directives and other regulatory requirements. Our main concern was with the delays in Bank of Ghana taking the action. Why was it a concern to us? You realize that there were a lot of uncertainties in the market after the commercial bank's own was completed in January. Now there are a lot of institutions who have lost huge deposits from January to now that the action took place.
And that's business for now, but I have more business for you after 8 p.m. Don't go away, there's more news coming up.